All right, here we are. Christmas Day 2020. And I'm in the garage for a little bit, mostly in the house because it's a little chilly out here. We'll get to that in a minute. Christmas is a little slower this year. Haven't been having to travel to our normal Christmas Day festivities, so we did a little bit. But now in the garage. So I've gotten the kit for the RV-8 home. And so this is what we got so far. What's left of the crate. Everything in it has been inventoried and is a little big to put up without getting damaged. So it's going to live in the crate for a little while. I've got to figure out what to do with it. Have a couple, I've been working on inventorying. So I have a couple of some of the larger pieces that are still part of kits, kit 2, 3, 4 sub kits to the tail kit. I've gotten through most of the smaller ones. I was doing that in the house where it was nice and warm. So here's everything that has been inventoried so far. Lots of little parts in multiple boxes. So I will be learning as I go, but put some stuff in some Tupperware containers, and tomorrow when the stores open back up, I will go purchase some more kind of medium-sized totes that I can put these sub kits in, put a lid on them, label them, set them to the side till I need them. They'll be completely contained. As far as inventory goes, I can't flip this phone once I've started recording, so we'll just try to do it this way. But inventory sheets, so I've just been going through those and checking everything off as I find it. So the first 3 or 4 pages of this is all contained in this bag. This is the hardware bag. It's going to be fun, and I'm putting it off to last. Partially because it's easy to inventory big parts that you can kind of know what they look like, and find your way through this packing slips pretty easily. When you first kind of look at it, as simple as it sounds, it's a little tedious to look at because of the way all the lines kind of line up with each other. Where you're checking and filling out is not equal with the wording and the writing. So it's pretty couple of parts, and you kind of got the flow of it. But I figured it'd be easier to get through all the big stuff first, and then start attacking the hardware bag. And in addition to that, I would like some additional organization type stuff to bins, little small bins, hardware, maybe rack for the wall, just anything that help this stuff stay organized, not grow legs and get missing. So that's the plan there. Like I said, I was working in the house. It was kind of cold in the garage. So there's a couple of reasons for that. One, our downstairs heat pump decided to go out last week, right after I purchased this kit. So, maybe luckily or unluckily, that timing happened as it did. If it would have happened a couple days before, probably wouldn't have bought this kit and probably would be a couple of months behind getting started on it. But now the kit's here, the heat's out, and we got to deal with it. So I have a very good garage heater. Normally keeps it nice and toasty out here, which is now warming the downstairs of our house. So limited in the garage until we get this fixed, or have to tote that thing back and forth, which isn't fun. But also you can tell I've got a lot of open rafters and whatnot in the garage. So I've been meaning to finish up the drywall in here and get it all done to get this shop up to speed for building this plane. While I had the U-Haul van truck, I decided I was going to go get the drywall and at least get half of the garage done. There's a car on the other half, another story. So I drove the truck to Home Depot, was standing there waiting for someone to come help me with the 4x12 pieces of drywall I was going to use for the ceilings and whatnot. And I just had a moment where I realized I don't want to do this. I saw some guys struggling to pick up some of the same drywall and just watch them, two pretty stout guys struggling with it. And it was not something I wanted to deal with. So, this is going to stay the way it is for a little bit, and I'm going to kind of organize this build in a fashion that, you know, at any given moment I could roll everything out in the driveway and just have a couple of guys, professionals, come in and just knock this garage out in a day or so. And drywall is one of those things, it's not that expensive to pay somebody to do it, and pick your battles. You want to build a plane, then maybe you should just pass off some of the other stuff to the professionals. So, normally the plane build would be left to the professionals, but we're doing things a little weird here. So, also have this car over here that I was planning on finishing up prior to starting this. So I'd have the full second garage to work on it. That got delayed a little bit due to parts. It's actually, for any of the gearheads, it's E46 M3. It was an SMG car, and I'm now converting it to the true manual. So got some parts on back order, got some modifications to the bell housing of the transmission I need to do at the machine shop where I work, and just haven't got around to that yet. So now I'm going to be trying to finish up two projects, which is not something I recommend or am happy about personally for this build of the plane for myself, but it's just the way it all worked out. From the previous video, you probably know that picked up this kit used, unopened, secondhand, if you will. And it was a really good deal that I came across. These things sell pretty quick. Anytime someone puts up a kit for sale, if it's anything good, they get snatched up pretty quick. And this one was unopened, still in the bands, had the metal bands around it, and that was the only way I wanted to do it. I don't want to inherit somebody else's partially started project, and the fact that it was unopened, I was pretty certain all the pieces were still there, not damaged, and if anything was missing, I'd probably have a little bit more of a leg to stand on with vans to get those parts replaced. Being that this kit only is, let's see, it was ship date was July 28th. So only several months ago this kit was made. So it's got all the latest updates that Vans is putting on them, with the exception of the final sized holes, which even if you buy a kit now, you're not guaranteed to get all that. But every other update they've done to their kitting, this has it. So when I get the wing kit, I'm sure it will probably be all final sized holes, and that process will go a little quicker. But for this one, it is what it is. Building it old school style. Yeah, so Christmas Day, working on this. Trying to see how to best transition this garage from purely automotive. I've done a lot of stuff in here with cars over the years, and we'll plan to in the future as well. So one of the goals that I'm working with is get this garage set up kind of half for the plane build. I can take over the whole garage for a couple of days if I need to, set something up, but I want to be able to move everything back over to one half of the garage, and if I need to do an oil change on one of the cars or any other heavier maintenance, I want to be able to do that. So the tools I have a pretty good toolkit from working on cars professionally over the years, that are now in these US General boxes, but there's good tools in there, trust me. They're cheap boxes, good tools. And I'm now having to buy and start looking for the tools that are going to be required for this. So initially, right out of the gate, I know I'm going to have to buy a bandsaw, grinders, different grinding wheels, things that I don't have already for that. So things like that I'm going to buy. the tools to dimple the skins, the squeezers, all the other things. I'm going to get into that as as I have to. I have several RV builder friends that probably going to let me borrow some of that stuff till I can pick up some things found on the forums, things like that, just to save some money, where that is appropriate. So that is the next step. So far I've had the kit in my possession for about 3 days, and first day I got it home, I just opened the box and kind of looked in it. Didn't really know what I was looking at, but like, yep, there it is. And then yesterday we had some time available, so started inventorying, and hopefully sometime maybe next week I can get started on the vertical stabilizer. So before I jumped into this, like I said in my previous video, I have an RV-8 that I did not build, but it did give me some familiarity with some of the parts and components that I'm looking at here, so that helped the inventorying go pretty quick. And it's always nice to have an understanding of, oh yeah, I know what that is, I know what that's going to go, what that's going to look like when it's finished. So working through that, and forgot what I was talking about. Vertical stabilizer, start to build that. Yeah, I don't remember. I've lost what I was saying. Wonderful. The wife was helping with the inventorying, so it's nice to have something that she could feel part of it and help out checking things off on the list as I was calling them out from the comfort of our living room on the parts that were of appropriate size to work on in the house. A couple of kits that were too big that I'm going to have to work on out here. But yeah,